Guys, the first time I come to Hanoi, look at the traffic behind and look at the numerous stores that I have on my left and on my right. The location I'm at is at hanoioldquarter, and it's a very famous place, very famous attraction in Hanoi. Without further ado, let's dive in to see what it has to offer.
Mang đi à?
Không, kia đúng đây. Giá rồi, rơi mẹ lọc trắng lọc trắng. Có ai làm không?
Của anh Tân.
Tân dạy được. Kịp xí. Con chấu thì thấy gặp anh. Xí à? Thôi, cái này là xí không phải gà. Cho nước nóng chưa?
Thì chứng tỏ người Việt mà xem được tất cả mấy thằng này đúng là những cái thằng kiểu ý là
Hoặc đâu?
để nói không đã thì biết là sau đã. Anh tưởng chí kẹo
là ăn vạ. Ăn vạ có phải đổ lỗi không?
Ngày xưa kiểu khác. Kiểu khác.
Chị nghĩ là một cách nói của mấy thằng ăn vạ. Mấy thằng hay đổ lỗi.
Luôn đưa đẩy thêm thế.
Nó đẩy nhưng nó lựa chọn sống như thế.
Không phải, bây giờ vào cái hoàn cảnh thế thì sao giờ? Nói rồi con rồi. Ngày xưa thi văn chắc phải 10 điểm.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the egg coffee. You can actually see that there is a layer of egg batter. So actually this egg batter consists of eggs and sugar, and it's topped with some coffee powder as garnish. Without further ado, let me try and see how it tastes like. Look at the traffic ahead. This is getting very messy. Full of motorbikes.
Their vibe is very high.
And also at the junction is where the traffic can be very messy. Lots of vehicles intersecting each other, alternating rather. You can also see vehicles abreast of each other. For example, a single lane can have 2 or even 3 vehicles next to each other in very close proximity. Wow, you can see a traffic marshal directing traffic. As the traffic is very chaotic, not even the traffic lights can help. So chaotic. Behind me, you can actually see a Mi Shue store, which actually originates from China. It's so popular for its ice cream, desserts, drinks. Started from China and is now all over the world. We can say that in Singapore have, Malaysia have, etc. And even in Indonesia also have. You can also see the daily life of hawkers. The one wearing a straw hat, as you can see in front of me. Pretty typical in Vietnam to see this thing. While in front of me is also a Hoan Kiem lake, which I'm going to explore in more detail. Amidst the bustling traffic. It must be very refreshing, especially given the cool weather here. The temperature here about 17 degrees Celsius, while enjoying the hot egg coffee. Feeling very comfortable over here. Basically, this place called the Hoan Kiem Lake, and it's not just a lake, but there's also some Chinese pagoda. There are also trishaw services in front of me. We are setting up some stage in front. I guess this is for the New Year countdown. And there is some significant event that's going to happen. And you can see there is a sign called Ten Ten Tang Long Hanoi. I'm wondering what's that. So if anyone knows, just comment below. There is a very refreshing background at the Hoan Kiem Lake. And in the middle of Hoan Kiem Lake is called the Nok Son Temple. So I'm right now standing on the bridge while crossing to the temple behind me. So I want to highlight to you that this is actually a ticketed admission, but it costs 50,000 Vietnamese dong per person. I noticed that the temple is only open usually to 6 p.m. local time from Monday to Thursdays and 7:30 p.m. from Fridays to Sundays. The coins are all hiding under the rock. Usually in a temple that pond with coins is a feature, but you can only see that a few coins are like swimming like very energetically. A bit like dancing. I guess even the coins themselves they are shivering from the cold weather until they have to huddle together under the rock. You can also see the Chinese calligraphy is written everywhere. As long as there is a concrete surface, whether it's a wall or whether it's at the temples, full of Chinese calligraphy. Talking about the Hoan Kiem lake, I noticed that in Vietnamese that they have very similar to the Chinese origins, and the Chinese name of this lake is actually called the Hoan Kiem, which when translated to English is actually called the Written Sword Lake. So I'm wondering if the history of this got anything to do with a sword or maybe some battle. This building houses 2 specimens of the turtles, and in the history that the turtles mean long life, longevity. So there's actually some history, especially relating to the Vietnamese army, on how the turtle like can use the shell to go and do crossbow and go and defeat some other army team. Okay, so basically it's all the battles, and actually there is such a turtle existing in the world, but there are only 6 of them left. There's actually a scientific name for it, and these 2 turtles behind me are actually being preserved with chemicals, and they are actually being stored in the building behind. If there's one thing that I've learned when I went to the temple in the middle of a lake, so basically that the Vietnamese history is very much related to the Chinese history, and you can even see in their Vietnamese language, which sounds very similar to the Chinese language. So yeah, it's pretty fascinating to learn a bit more on Vietnamese history. This has been a very good place to see the sunrise and sunset, just that it would be better if there are no clouds and you can see the sun. Back at the Hanoi Old Quarter, so basically that we're on another street and it sells mainly clothing, fashion, etc. So you can also see the clothing which is actually has Vietnam and also some logo also. And you can see that behind me that coffee is also one of the main producers, especially in Vietnam, so they are selling coffee quite commonly over here. One thing I observe on the streets is that basically that the motorcycles, there are a lot of them, maybe more than a number of cars. So it's pretty common to see groups of motorcyclists traveling in a group along the road. Behind me is the Dong Look Communist House, and you can also see the Chinese characters corresponding it. One interesting thing is that although it don't house the original communist members as it's supposed to be, and instead that retail shop has taken over its place, so the Hanoi government has actually also conserved this building, which is actually part of the attraction of the Hanoi Old Quarter. The streets here may seem very intimidating, maybe because of many number of streets that make up the Hanoi Old Quarter. So I also do see that there are stores selling, especially made in Vietnam, clothing. So definitely this is a place where the locals can purchase the items at affordable prices. There are also roadside stores selling quick food, which is actually pretty much affordable. Okay, for example, it's more towards snacks. And inside that they actually one store that makes crepes and also the sandwiches. So for me, I personally ordered a chicken and egg sandwich for my supper tonight. Guys, so this is actually the sandwich I purchased, and in Vietnamese they call it as Banh Mi. So I ordered the Banh Mi chicken and egg version, and I can't wait to try for supper as I watch a soccer match. Speaking of this place, there's also a Korean mini mart, and I can see that both Vietnam and Korea flags hand in hand. Seems that Vietnam has very close relationship with South Korea, and you can see that they're selling Korean products, for example like kimchi. So maybe I'm thinking whether I should go there and buy some souvenirs. Chinese temples are prominent over here. You can see that there are a lot of Chinese characters also. Can say that pretty much the Vietnamese culture has its own Chinese roots. There is also a Yule type atmosphere, which means Christmas is coming. So you can see behind me that basically they are selling Christmas decorations, as Christmas is just in about 2 weeks time. So you can also see that there are those Christmas lighting where the Cross Junction is. They're also selling Christmas trees, Santa Claus outfits. As you can see that there's a lot of crisscross at this junction, and it's pretty much a challenge trying to navigate the traffic in the Hanoi Old Quarter. So we got to be very careful with these vehicles. No traffic light here, that means to say that they need to use a lot of street smart to navigate this. That's why it's pretty messy when it comes to traffic. Oh my. You see that there's gonna be another motorcycle very near to me. Gotta be very alert all the time. The best strategy to deal with this, especially in the congested area, you hear a lot of honks. Okay, you need to walk in a direction that is going against the traffic. That means when you walk, you will need to see the headlights and not the tail lights. It's very dangerous if you, let's say, if you walk in a direction following the traffic. So, common to hear a lot of honks. Common to be like having near miss, especially with your vehicles. If not careful, slightest of not careful, and you may get into accidents. And we don't want this to happen. It gives me a very big scare, especially you see vehicles like motorcycles very near to me when zooming at high speeds. And every time when I cross a junction that I have to be extra alert, and yes, I do feel very scared. You don't know whether if the driver is not careful and may knock you from behind. See, you hear people honking again. I can say the most challenging part of the Hanoi Old Quarter is to navigate the messy traffic. Whenever I cross the road, I'm very scared that I may get into an accident anytime, just because of one party, either a driver or the passenger who crossed the road is careless. Do remember to share, like and subscribe my YouTube channel so that you won't miss any important updates. When my next adventure will be home or away, I'll see you in my next vlog. Bye bye!